I work with women who feel like they are addicted to men's potential, and they find themselves in these cycles of relationships where they're attracting the emotionally unavailable guy, the guy they can rescue, the guy that's manipulating them, or somehow otherwise causing dysfunction. And I help them be able to become the best version of themselves so that they can attract and hold healthy, mature love. And what the hell is healthy, mature love, especially if you haven't experienced that before? So I want to talk about the 5 signs that you know you're in a healthy relationship so that when you start dating, or if you are in a relationship, you have a framework of some expectations of what to feel like are the green flags. So the first one is that you can say what you feel. Communication is so big in relationships. In healthy relationships, we're not walking on eggshells. You're not having to edit your feelings for fear of hurting the other person. You're not scared of taking up space. And there's equal communication. So you're bringing feelings to the table, and they're bringing feelings to the table, and there's space to talk about everything. There's a baseline level of respect. Conversations don't just turn into a yelling match or into immediate deflection and defensiveness, but there's space and there's curiosity for how your partner is feeling and how you are feeling. The second thing is that you feel playful. This is a green flag that I don't think we talk about enough, but when you're in an unhealthy relationship, you tend to be like guarded. You tend to be on edge, you're hyper vigilant, you don't want to stress them out, you don't want to piss them off, you don't want to create a fight. So when you're in a healthy relationship, there's safety. There's safety to be your true self. There's safety to be goofy, to be unique, to actually eat what you want to eat for breakfast, even though you think it's totally weird and you're not concerned that they're going to judge you. So your defenses have relaxed a bit because your partner has exhibited safety, you have built trust, and you're able to goof off and have fun. Because what are we doing in life if we're not having fun? Let's be real. The third thing is that you feel as loved as you make them feel. So a lot of the women that I work with would categorize themselves as people pleasers and are used to being the one pleasing. They're not so used to being the one receiving. And sometimes that receiving of love, receiving of somebody who wants to give you their love and affection, can be really uncomfortable if you're not used to being the one that's receptive. So do you feel as loved as you are making them feel? Is there an equal amount of effort that's going towards tending to each other's needs and emotions and feelings? Do you feel like there's equal split in the duties in the house, in the chores that you're doing, the cooking, the cleaning, the kids, whatever it is? Partnership should be equal. There should not be somebody who's up here giving all the time and the other person down here receiving all the time, because this starts to represent the parent-child dynamic, which is not the dynamic you want with someone that you're sleeping with and someone that you're intimate with and sharing your life with. The fourth thing is that both people take accountability. So when you say something that your partner takes the wrong way, or that wasn't intended to hurt them but did hurt them, or you effed up in some way and you need to come clean and say you're sorry, both people are practicing that. It's never just one person's fault. All of the fights in the relationship are never just one person's fault. You're never too much or too needy because you keep bringing things to the table to talk about. But both people have clear needs. They're clear in what they need. They're clear in how they need you to communicate with them. And in that, there's a lot of space to be able to talk about things and for you to take accountability without a fear of being punished. Again, we don't want to be in the parent-child dynamic. So if you're the one that's always feeling like you screwed up and you're almost scared to bring it again to your partner, or you're assuming that responsibility, that's when you're going to get in kind of that like funky place, and that's not a healthy place to be. So when you screw up, you're apologizing, taking accountability, and so is your partner. The fifth thing is that you both have lives outside of each other. And it's really supported and encouraged by both of you that you do that. So we get into this really enmeshed place in unhealthy relationships, and we start to get really codependent, which causes a lot of problems when we don't have separate lives. So you're doing everything together, you're dependent on them to spend time with you in order to be okay. You don't have outside friends, or maybe you have the experience of when you get into relationships, you kind of like cut everyone out. You don't make time for your friends anymore, or you don't make time for the things that you love to do. So maybe you're not cooking as much. Maybe you're not doing yoga anymore. Maybe you're not gardening or going for your walks. Like all of your interests and your activities have become whatever your partner does. And it's important that we share some commonalities, obviously, to be able to spend time with our partner. But you also want to have your separate interests, your separate friends, your separate support systems, because if your entire world is this one person, that's a lot of pressure, first and foremost, to put on that person to be the person you go to for everything. So you think about our ancestors, we lived in tribes. We had a full community of people that were there to support us. And the same thing can be true now with your friends, your family, your separate interests, your jobs, your hobbies. We get to have a lot of different people that fulfill us and that fill our cup, so that we're not constantly just going to our partner and being like, I'm empty, fill me up, because likely they're empty too if you're their only person. So having external interests also gives you something to relate on and talk about that's new and different. So if you're constantly with your partner, doing everything with them, there's not a lot of new kind of dynamics, new interactions, new opportunities to go places with different people, and it can feel more stagnant. So it helps liven your independent life and your interdependent life. I use this analogy all the time, where you want to be your independent self, they want to be their independent self, and then you come together and you share experiences, but you're both still full circles, okay? You're not enmeshing into each other. So those are the 5 signs that you can look for. There's many, many more. There's tons of green flags, and there's tons of red flags. So in the comments below, I would love to know how this lands for you. What was the most eye-opening sign that we talked about today that maybe you haven't thought of in relationships? If you're new to this channel, give me a follow, give this video a like if it was helpful, and you'll help other people find this information as well. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.